I'm not gonna lie, I really need to get a haircut. But that's besides the point. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be taking a look at some rumors and things that I have some updates for you guys to stick by. There's some really important information in here. But let's first of all get started with the first thing, which is our boy Soul Silver Art. If you do not know who this individual is, it's what I refer to as a leak analyst. The person who takes a look at leaks, rumors, and news and kind of breaks them down and tries to figure out what the hidden meaning could be behind possible riddles, possible leaks, stuff like that. And Silver has been on like the kind of grind recently with theories and ideas about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and today he's got some information for us, and we also have a rumor we're going to take a look at later on. But the big thing before we get into this information, this is really important by the way, is that the Pokemon Pokédoko, which is I mentioned in previous videos, was supposed to be this like Japanese variety show that was going to feature new game information. Apparently, according to Cerebi, that's not going to be happening, or at least based on the trailer they showed us, nothing's going to be happening. We don't really know. I'll be streaming that on Sunday. And if that is the case, if nothing is happening, that means that throughout this week, we won't be really seeing anything major happen. Just going to point that out right now. So, nothing's happened yet. It's already Wednesday as I'm recording this, which means that we may not get a trailer this week. But there is a rumor saying that next week, there might be something on the Friday, which I don't know if that's really real. But let's get into the theory right here, or the speculation. May or may not be a Scarlet and Violet gimmick. As you can see, there are two sets of 3 versus each other. Either way, I've been thinking about being too focused on triple battles. Maybe we can combine types of 3 Pokemon that we choose from our party, but it has to be simple to understand too. And then here's what the post said from Commonium here, was that I think it just means that you're going to be able to switch out a type that you already have on your Pokemon team, which can be the negative factor since you're going to have 2 Pokemon of the same type in a battle. It remains to be seen if the double type Dragon Fighting would change only to Steel or Dragon Steel. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, I once said that if the gimmick is type changing, it needs to have some restrictions. That restriction could be determined by the team members. The player picks 2 Pokemon of theirs, so they can swap their type with another Pokemon at the battle. And the way each Pokemon has access to 3 types. And then of course there was a post here by Eclipse. I don't know what that really relates. He says my kind of good night, and it's him playing Pokemon Colosseum. But yes, I don't know if that's to do with the idea of like there being multiple Pokemon in a single battle or whatever. Personally, the best theory I've heard, and the theory that I agree with the most, is that this is going to have nothing to do with actual typings, but rather that the actual brand new feature is going to have something, or the gimmick as you want to call it, will have something to actually do with these abilities of the Pokemon. So abilities like, I don't know, Blaze or whatever, right? Basically a new kind of ability that would actually, if triggered, cause a Pokemon to gain a sort of like change in its maybe form or design or even abilities and stuff, but with a negative added to that. That's what I personally think is the most logical direction to go in, but I want to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are on that. So let's continue on, shall we? Next up is this right here. And shout out, by the way, to Soul Silver for sending this my way. But basically, he's talking about a bunch of different things, and he's got a bit of a theory going on. But let's start from the top. With this, I've been trying to also figure out which normal Gen 8 mons were hints to the Scarlet and Violet legendaries. And if you don't know this, if you look back at the previous generations, each generation had a Pokemon added to it that would kind of like almost hint at the next generation legendary. So usually these were Pokemon that had multiple like forms, right? So maybe female, male form, or different, seasonal forms. Like for example, Saucebuck had like different, forms based on the period of like, the time at the moment, right? So there was like a spring version, a winter version, etc. And basically that was a hint towards Xerneas. And then you also had Mandibuzz, which had male and female form as far as I remember, and that hinted at Yveltal based on the same kind of animal. And then Pyroar with its male and female form hinted towards Solgaleo. Noivern, I'm not really sure about Noivern and its forms or whatever, but that apparently hinted at Lunala. Then we had the Lycanrocs that hinted, the 2 different midnight, and the day form, whatever, or midday. And those were hinting towards Zacian and Zamazenta because those are also wolves. And then, of course, we are kind of stuck on what the next one would be. And this is where he seems to be bringing up that he's certain that it's Dracozolt. But other mons could also be referencing the gimmick, maybe Morpeko. And its appearance, a Galar Dragon like Flapple or Dragapult line. So, of course, we do have, the fossils, which are like in different forms. We do have Flapple and whatnot, and its like other version. And then, of course, we have Dragapult with its kind of weird stuff going on. But Dragapult doesn't really have, I would say, a direct connection because it doesn't have really different forms. There's just a singular Pokemon line. Morpeko is a more close one, though. And here's what he says here, which links back to a previous thread, which is potential spoilers. Been speculating on 2 legend dragons origins. My main idea is one of them could be a cockatrice. Box legends have sometimes had a theme of being 2 similar creatures, especially recently. Maybe these 2 will be the serpentine dragons, with the second being Celebury. Celebury? I don't know really how to say that, but he continues on. Or could it be the Gen 8 mon that just looks similar to a dragon? Someone suggested the perfect one that lines up with the Culebri is Runerigus. Jeez, that's a hard name. Let's also not forget the connection to fruit, which the Appleton line could point to. Dracovish could be a gimmick-related option mixing types. And, of course, this thingy is a weird one, because it does have, like, essentially one of those, like, serpent-like designs on it, which all kind of comes from specifically Nordic, you know, mythology, because we do have a lot of these in Sweden, I know, like these rune scriptures, as I've lived in Sweden my whole life, so I've seen quite a lot of them, and they're everywhere, so that was a clear connection there. But then again, you do have Flapple and Appleton, which could be, you know, they're representing the 2 different, you know, sides here. For example, triangles, tart sliced oranges with Flapple, and violet circles, sweet round grapes with Appleton. That actually is a great connection, and that could mean maybe is it some kind of dragon, you know, but it's one like thick boy and one thin boy. We'll see. This is some fun theory crafting if you're interested, and thank you, man. I really appreciate it, by the way. The options are still wide open. Other contenders for the modern futuristic legendaries Gen 8 precursors. I completely forgot Regidrago's head could be it. Also, could be Duraldon, a dragon with a metal tech modern vibe, and Dracovish again for being a dragon mix of things, mixing types. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm really curious because I don't know what Pokemon be hinting at the legendary. Usually, like I said, these do hint, but there is no guarantee. So I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this, as it is quite interesting. And to finish this video off, we have a kind of a leak post, right? A rumor post. Just remember, all these rumors are to be taken with a mountain of salt. It's none of it's confirmed, all of it's speculation. But there's this big one that I thought we would, you know, take a look at. And also, yeah, I don't know what's going on with. It's 4chan, okay? Don't question all the weird ads. Either way, I'll post what I have, and here's what he says. Region, Rostella, or Resetella, which I guess maybe if you're talking in like, if it's in Spanish, Rostea, I guess, is how it will be called, whatever. He says, no gimmick, really. The major theme through is split evolutions. A bunch of Pokemon will have a split final Evos. That actually would make a lot of sense, because we have had a lot of, like, split Evo things going on with Legends Arceus, so it wouldn't be that crazy. Similar to Appleton and Flapple, but they will not be version exclusive. The exact mechanic how you get which evolution is something I don't know yet. The primary split Evos you will see are a lot are the starters. Okay, that's interesting. For all I've been able to gather, they go one way or another depending on a variety of factors. Sometimes it can be moveset, if most moves and physical special status, or their location of evolution is possibly stats for some. The idea of Rostella is the importance of no fear is choosing your own path. Hence the split Evos. I don't know most of the decks, so I can't confirm how much this will be used, but it looks like the initial decks will be 82. This does include regional variants and split Evos. Don't get too hyped. The differences between the splits are somewhat minor, but they can be different types. One I saw was Smeargle, who gets 2 new Evos at the art school. Schools are a huge theme throughout the game, which, yeah, I mean, you can take that away from, like, the fact that the characters are literally in school uniforms, whatever. Smeargle is going to be more of an introductory mon for the new mechanic. Based on what moves he sketches from other mons, will determine which way he evolves. Actually, this is a really cool way to evolve Smeargle, I'm not gonna lie. I only saw the one, but it's called Dogoya. Well, seriously, effing doggo in the name. And his little hat beret becomes a lot more fuzzy to cover one eye. His tail gets longer and bigger, and he gets a spot pattern on his back that looks like a painter's palette. Actually, it's kind of cool, though. I know the contentious one is Fuecoco. Does he become a gator or a snake? Both, sorta. His Scarlet Split Evo is more like a really long salamander, and Violet gets an alligator, so he's saying that he's suggesting split evolutions for the Scarlet and Violet starters, which I think would be sick, by the way. I think it would be honestly really sick if they did that. Now, how realistic is that? Not very realistic, but let's continue. It honestly looks like a CalArts cartoon, but the salamander looks kinda neat. Very long body, making a distinct S shape. Its limbs are very small, and it folds his hands, together and grabs its legs, so essentially becoming a spinning wheel for some of its animations. Bellsprout line also gets an regional variant, Grass Fire, and it's more like a salsa dancer. Think of that one anime episode where Ash's muck faces that one little Bellsprout, and the thing sort of dances around until it dies. Didn't we Weepinbell, or wait, didn't we Weepinbell or Victory Bell? I don't even know what's going on, mate. Tauros and Miltank get a pre-evo baby Pokemon called Confetti. It feels like that sounds like a Fakemon name that I've seen. Oh my god. It looks super generic. Back to the schools theme. So you start the game in a trainer school, easy guess with the effing dopey uniforms the protags wear, and they force you to sit through a long hand-holding tutorial until you get your starter and can leave. There are schools all around the region. You get to go and learn about the different typings, and there's a big theme that ties in with the one I mentioned before about choosing your path. An art school for normal bug and fairy, a geology school for rock, fire, rock, and ground, oceanography school for water, ice, engineering school for steel, electric, and psychic. And this plays into the split evos because we are learning about how new mons can evolve and have a brand new typing different from their last one, which is why the types are grouped together. Don't know the other school mashups. I think Dark is by itself and are less of a school and more of a street smarts. So instead of gyms, you go to the schools. It beats you over the head with the effing schooling thing, and schools are really effing important in Spain. Or this is just I don't know. He's just saying that maybe they're just trying to encourage you to go to school. I don't know, something like that. But either way, the legendaries are both bug types, bug dark and bug dragon. No visuals to describe. I take candidates and posts, but I have a little access to them and simply asked a coworker who apparently snuck into a meeting. It would be also career suicide if I did, because and VP might find this interesting, but to find leakers more easily, each team is sent a small bunch of material to work with until bigger reveal trailers. However, what one team gets, the other one don't. So it's if specific info gets leaked, they can more easily track down who done it. Nintendo Game Freak isn't messing around with leaks anymore, and I'm sticking my neck out for you. Well, yeah, just with this stuff. But I think I've kept it general enough that they can't determine which team sent it out. I'm pretty sure the regional variants mentioned were sent out to were sent out to more, but I honestly, it'd just be a guess. Anyway, have fun and feel free to call me fake, and yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna start with this, right? This is one of the few rumors that, like, I'm gonna be honest, actually sounds pretty legitimate. And I'm not saying that just because this guy's literally calling the people shitheads who are, like, you know, on 4chan. Not that, but it's like, just, I don't know, something about, like, there not really being a gimmick actually makes sense, because the gimmicks kind of existed, if you really think about it, in Pokemon. They really only existed as a kind of stopgap for them to have something for, like, unique each game, because they couldn't make the games themselves fun without, like, having some extra gimmick. If you really think about it, right? If you really strip down all those gimmicks out of the games we played before, every single Pokemon game is just kind of bare minimum, and the gimmicks are there to make it seem more flashy. It's like if you take, like, Call of Duty or World of Warcraft, right? They always need to, like, you know, add in some flashy new thing to keep people coming back, just because that's the only way to keep them coming, because the base gameplay just isn't good enough in the long run, right? Because the world is too, like, limited or whatever. But that's kind of been defeated. If you really look at it, like, let's be honest here. If you really look at Pokemon Legends Arceus, that game only really did one thing: made the world open world, like properly open world. And once you done that, they didn't really need a gimmick. Sure, we did technically have a gimmick with the agile and strong style, but honestly, I wouldn't even call that a gimmick. I think that was just a added, like, you know, combat change, which I think was great, actually. I think the change there was actually a good one. It was an addition that actually made a lot of sense. But the problem with Pokemon is they add stuff, then they remove it, and they replace it with something either shittier or just, like, something just to fill in the gap that they need for content, right? And the thing here is, there being no gimmick actually would make sense, in my opinion, because it doesn't need to be there. Legends Arceus proved that. Just making the world open world, filling it with stuff to do, filling it with side quests, filling it with Pokemon to catch, that's enough to make people happy. And if you, on top of that, are putting it into a brand new region with brand new Pokemon, possibly new forms, as well as, on top of that, having a genuinely, like, you know, like, giant world for us to explore with possibly gyms, or as this guy calls them, schools, you know, actually would be enough. We don't need megas or, you know, whatever else you want to call it to really be necessary for this game to work and be a good game. The gimmicks are unnecessary in reality, and this is the only rumor that makes me feel like that. But I want to know what you guys think about this one in the comment section down below. It's going to be it for today. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.